Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself as much time as I may consume.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, first let me thank Chairman Hunter for his work on this bill and on the other work we've been able to do with the Coast Guard and the legislation. It's been a great pleasure to work with him. I rise in support of S756, the Save Our Seas Act of 2018, as amended to include other important bills addressing maritime safety and ocean technologies. As explained by the majority manager's bill, marine debris, especially plastics, is a persistent and growing threat to the global marine environment. Many countries, including the United States, contribute to the plastic pollution, and it does add up. For example, in 2010 alone, according to the University of Georgia study, a total of 8 million metric tons of plastic entered the world's oceans. Worse yet, the study predicts that number will grow 10 times, tenfold, as large by 2025. Not only are floating plastic bags, straws, styrofoam cups, and plastic bottles harmful to the health and welfare of marine life, but marine debris also threatens the food supply of millions of people around the world who rely on seafood as their primary source of protein. The impacts affect people everywhere, and the problem is not going to go away and won't be solved by itself. The legislation we put forth today is an important step in the right direction. Title I would authorize existing funding levels in the Marine Debris Act to enable the National Oceanographic and Administrative Administrations and the United States Coast Guard to identify and remove sources of marine debris and to coordinate response activities on the national and regional levels to assess and reduce the volume of the debris entering our oceans. The title also contains important amendments, including new authority to allow the federal government to provide assistance to mitigate severe marine debris events, such as the reoccurrence of the flood of debris that drifted from Japan across the Pacific Ocean in the aftermath of the 2011 Fukushima earthquake and tsunami. I also want to express my strong support for two other bills recently passed and reported by the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee that were added as separate titles to S756. First, H.R. 6175, the Maritime Safety Act of 2018 as Title II, and my legislation, H.R. 6206, the Coast Guard Blue Technology Center of Expertise Act as Title III. The 2015 sinking of the U.S. flagged commercial vessel El Faro and the tragic loss of all 33 crew members was the worst U.S. maritime disaster in 35 years. The subsequent Marine Board investigation convened by the Coast Guard and joined on by the National Transportation Safety Board found numerous faults in the ship's safety management system, bridge management, and safety apparatus, as well as other critical oversights and failures. Title II enacts several important recommendations contained in the action memo released by then Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Paul Zumkov. I want to particularly note the Chairman's work in bringing together a couple of hearings on this, both formal and informal, that led to these investigations and recommendations. Together, these provisions that are in this bill will improve ship communication, safety management. They'll also improve our ability to identify and recover voyage data recorders and locate and retrieve seafarers who may be adrift at sea. Additionally, the investigation revealed gaps and insufficient oversight in the inspection regime. The bill deals with those. Title II also includes several new requirements to shore up the oversight and investigation of third-party inspectors who should be reviewing the safety of these ships. Also, I strongly support Title III, which contains my legislation. I know you're surprised with that support, but nonetheless, 6026, to authorize the Coast Guard to establish a Blue Technology Center of Expertise. Unlike the Navy, the ocean industry sectors and ocean science community, the Coast Guard has not embraced the adoption and use of a wide assortment of advanced ocean technology systems, sensors, and platforms. This is unfortunate because I suspect that several such technologies have the potential to dramatically improve the Coast Guard's operational capability. Therefore, Title III simply draws upon the existing authority to direct the Coast Guard to establish a Blue Technology Center of Expertise. The overarching goal is to improve from within the Coast Guard's awareness of technologies, blue ocean technology, that apply or align with the Coast Guard's mission needs. In addition, this new Blue Technology Center will facilitate a dialogue and the sharing of information between the Coast Guard and a growing number of blue tech stakeholders in the private sector, academia, and ocean research community. A 2015 study by NOAA identified over 400 blue technology firms across the United States that generate some $7 billion in annual revenue. These firms, along with our academic and research institutions, stand ready to put their innovations to work in service of the American people, using the Coast Guard as a mechanism of accomplishing that. I'm confident that a Blue Technology Center will open doors of opportunity for the Coast Guard to better protect and patrol the vast oceans and complex waterways. Therefore, I urge my colleagues on both sides to join with me in support of this non-controversial maritime legislation, and I reserve the balance of my time.